Hello everyone, and welcome to Outside the Box Soaps. I haven't done a video in a while, and that is because I have recently moved. And if you've ever changed homes, you know that getting ready takes a ton of time, and then getting settled once you're there takes a ton of time. So today I wanted to get back to making some soap. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making a bar using a fragrance from Bulk Apothecary, and it's called Moonlight Path, and it is a dupe of a Bath and Body Works fragrance. So I'm going to be using sort of an ombre of black and different blues to represent the night sky, if you will. And then I do have a melt and pour embed that I made to represent the moon. And I used a new kind of melt and pour. I hesitate often to use melt and pour embeds because of the contents ingredient listing, and you've got lots of chemicals when you use some of these. But I did find that Bulk Apothecary has some very nice ones. This happens to be a goat milk melt and pour, and it has mostly really good ingredients, so there's not a lot of the chemical stuff going on, so I'm going to give that a try. So anyway, I've got all my oils here, and gee, I don't have my list, but what I've got is some palm kernel flakes and cocoa butter, a little bit of cocoa butter, shea butter, coconut oil, rice bran oil, and olive oil. And I'm going to be putting some additives in as well. I have my kaolin clay, and I'm also going to be adding some goat milk powder to the mix. So I have my lye water here, and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to strain my lye water. And whoops. Sorry about that. There's not a lot of swirling that I'm going to do. I'm going to be basically doing layers with this soap, so I'm not real concerned about keeping it liquid. In fact, this bottom layer that includes the darkest color, the black, probably is going to need to get a little thick in order to be able to support the embed. So let's get it emulsified and see how that goes. Okay, so the lighting here is not quite, it needs a little bit of adjustment, but I'm going to be putting in some additives now. I have some kaolin clay and some goat milk powder that I'm going to be adding to this particular soap loaf. So I want to get those in, try to minimize the blending. You don't want to over thicken. So I'm just going to try to do some stirring here and avoid having to give it a ton and ton of blending. It is a little, the temperature is a little warmer for my batter than what I usually do. Just feeling a little impatient today and not wanting to wait for it to get to the 70s, which is where I like to do it. Okay, so we're looking good. Now I'm going to add the fragrance, and I've not used this before. This actually has some of my oils mixed into it. That is supposed to lessen the shock of the fragrance. I've not actually used this before in a cold process soap. So we'll see what happens. I probably should have done my colors first. But Again, like I said, I'm not really doing a lot of swirling this time, so I thought it's probably just easier to get the fragrance into this bigger bowl. Okay, and at the moment, it doesn't seem to be having any negative reactions. So we shall see if that remains, but I am seeing trace. So I'm going to speed it up a bit and try to get my colors mixed really quickly here. So since I can be a little sloppy, I'm going to just put you on pause and come back when that's all. Okay, folks, so here's what happened while you were gone, or while I was gone. This is an epic fail, but I'm not going to give up. So what happened is this got really hard, just what I was worried would happen, because I don't know, maybe it was the temperature, maybe it was the fragrance. I did put it in before the color. Anyway, so here's what I've decided to do. Since this is still going to be Moonlight Path, and I really don't want to waste all of these ingredients, what I'm doing is I got, this was going to be my black layer. So I've gone back to kindergarten Play-Doh, and I'm just smushing the color in to this with my hands. And of course I do have chunks in there that are remaining uncolored, but I'm thinking they might end up looking like stars if we can stretch it. Anyway, we'll see what happens, but I really don't like to just dump anything when I've got all of these materials in here. So, all right, so there is the black layer, and then I have the goat milk melt and pour insert, which I'm going to put in. And as you can see, this was kind of doomed from the start because this has a lot of little dents in it, and I really don't know why. I mean, I did not use a silicone mold, so instead I used a paper towel roll. So my suggestion to you would be invest in a round silicone mold, because that's what I'm going to do. So I still got a color here. Before I do all this, let me see which color this is, because as I said, I was trying to do an ombre effect where it would be dark and then get lighter and lighter as it went up. So I'm not sure that you can see, whoops, here in the camera, what's going on. But what I'm doing is I'm just mixing up this other blue that I had. So let's put this aside for a moment. Let's get all of this color in here. This is a riot. This is a comedy video is what this one is. Okay. So this, I think, was actually supposed to be my lightest blue color. So that's what we'll do. We'll put it on last, and I'll just show you one layer more so you can see what I'm doing, and then I'll turn it off and spare you the pain of watching. Okay, so here's the mess. All right, so this is a dark blue, and I'm gonna just lay that right on top. It's sort of like making chocolate chip cookies with cookie dough. I'm gonna just press that in and do the best that I can. Hopefully it will be soap, and it will be usable soap, but Only time will tell at this point. I don't know how aesthetically pleasing it will be, but it can certainly be something that I keep for me because I do like this fragrance. So there we go. Alright, so I'm going to stop now and I'm going to add the other layers. I'll let you see what it looks like just at the very end, and then it'll be an interesting surprise when I cut it, and I'll let you see that as well. Okay, be right back. I am back, and here is the finished soap loaf. The tape here has nothing to do with the fact that this was a disaster. I just do that with this mold because if I don't, it will bow out and give me wider bars in the center, and I don't like it, so it's annoying. But anyway, so getting back to the soap. So what happened here? Well, I may never really know the truth to that tale. I think there were a number of things. One was that there were a lot of hard oils in the recipe. The second is that I did add more kaolin clay than I normally do. I just did a quick lookup because I haven't used it in a while, and it said 1 tablespoon per pound. I think that may be a little too much, or at least it was with this recipe. Third possibility was the fragrance. Again, I haven't used it in cold processed soap. I also added it before I did my colorant, which I don't usually do. I usually do my colors, and as you can see, the disaster continues as things are falling as I'm doing this. So we're going to let this sit overnight. I'm definitely going to wrap it. I'm hoping that keeping the heat in will help to do something to it. And I will definitely post pictures of what it looks like when it's cut. So this is summer comic relief for soap makers, so don't let this happen to you. Okay, folks, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Okay, so it's the next day, and here are my Moonlit Path bars. So all in all, considering what it looked like yesterday, I guess I'm not terribly disappointed. At least they're usable. They're definitely not what I was trying to do, but I will clean them up certainly, and we'll see how they go. But they look usable, and you know, the more I think about it, I really think that I added way too much kaolin clay, and I think that's why I got that reaction. I think it just sucked up all of the moisture that was in the batter. So anyway, okay, that is Moonlit Path, or Moonlight Path, and I will definitely try it again and try to get it the way I intended it. So thanks again for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.